welcome to my channel. The reason I wanted to speak to you guys today is basically about the lady that I'm displaying here. Her name is Alyssa Milano. She's an actress, or I think maybe former actress or so on and so forth, as turned activist. But the reason why I'm bringing her up today is because of the current buzz in the media right now concerning what she said on TikTok. I think a lot of people have a lot to say about what she said, but the main thing is that they have basically associated her with another black lady who gave a response to what she said on TikTok. A lot of people are basically clapping for this black woman for saying what she said to Alyssa Milano, claiming that she had more common sense than Alyssa Milano. Let me put it like this, and I want you guys to be the judge. And just in case you haven't actually watched the clip, I just posted a link to the clip in the video, and hopefully those of my viewers who are going to be on YouTube, I want you to also use the link. Watch it for yourself before you comment on my own page. I want your precise opinion. Now, I want you first of all to listen to what Alyssa Milano said, and I want you to take it in, little by little. Sure, I can tell you what the summary of what Alyssa Milano is trying to say. She's trying to say that we all should try and unite, regardless of your melanated composition, to try and unite to solve a problem. We must acknowledge the political incentive structures and so on and so forth that are doing everything within their power to continue to put black men in a certain position. I want you guys to just take what I just said and let it just ruminate within you just for a couple of seconds. It is to unite to solve a problem plaguing men, plaguing black men. That's what she was trying to say. If you look towards the ending of her statement from the clip that I saw, I don't know where I can get access to the whole clip, but I'm hoping that that's not it. But at least with the whole clip, I can see where she's coming from. But with just this small clip, this small cut posted clip, I can tell you one thing. Exactly what I just told you is exactly what she was trying to say. Put yourself in a black man's shoe. Understand his plight and work with him, or should I just say, make efforts to help dissolve problems associated with what is plaguing the black man. That's what she's saying. I know towards the ending, she basically inferred that this is a centuries-old problem, and we don't need it to continue to plague us because we should be better than that. We should be better than this, right? And she, made a statement about trying to stop all efforts that tries to prevent black men from voting. And I think to some degree she was just, I would say, carried with her what she was saying. She just put that part in there because in the past, black people were prevented from voting. There was no voting rights for black people. So I think she was carried away with that one. I'll say that. But I can say that the overall message is for us all to unite and to solve the problem. Now, let's look at her message from section to section. She says, for non-melanated men or non-melanated people to put themselves in a black man's shoes and watch in the media as black men are being maltreated. That is what she's asking. She says, put yourself in in a black man's shoe and imagine that black man now watching in the media as other black men are maltreated. And I can tell you, as a black man, I am disappointed when I see such things in the media. That's how I feel. I don't know about the rest of you, but that is how I feel when I see black men being incarcerated in mass quantities, maltreated, being killed on the streets. I feel disappointed that as a black community, we haven't done our jobs to raise our children properly. As a black community, we haven't been looking out for our own people. That's assuming that the black community even exists anymore, because I personally believe in this day and age, everybody is about self. Too many people are so self-centered that they cannot think about the group. That is what I think as a black man who is watching this stuff in the media. That we haven't prepared our children to deal with the outside world. That our children are not ready to deal with what's out there because we fail them in the home. Alyssa talked about agents, political incentives to basically continue to maltreat African American males in the public. I'll say yes, there is an incentive. All those political agendas and so on and so forth has been to destroy the black family. And they are succeeding. I don't know whether it is intentional, but they are succeeding in that. The family has been destroyed. Let me just put it like this. The black family has been destroyed. The men are leaving home. The men no longer want to be with their women anymore. The women themselves now with children are now forced to work 2-3 jobs just to keep the lights on. So my question to you now is, who is going to raise the children? Is it the daycare? Is it the government sponsored programs? Is it television? Is it video games? Is it the community, the black community that is non-existent right now? Who is going to raise those children? Right now, a woman raising a black child is a crapshoot when it comes to men. It's a crapshoot. It comes down to that, just flinging the dice. Each member of the family had a role. Now everybody have absconded their own position. And as a result of that, we're now raising wayward children. I don't know what the statistics of black children being incarcerated, in the past was. But now it's at an all-time high. I don't know. I personally, I would say to myself, a community should feel happy when its prisons are actually low in numbers. But that's not the case. Nowadays, all you see, okay, let me just put it like this for you. When it comes to black men, you have to either be a rapper, an entertainer, or some kind of a sports individual. Those are the only ways for many of them. Barely do you see other black male models that young kids, black male can actually look at and simply say, you know what, I want to emulate that. I want to get that for myself. Many of these black kids are not around this kind of individual, guys. They're not usually around them. You know, black doctors, black male doctors, black male nurses, black male engineers, black male, what do you call it? Black male software engineers. You don't have those. You barely, I mean, it's not as if I'm saying we don't have those. I'm just saying those numbers are very low. And even then, those low numbers do not go around, you know, all these places where all these young black males can actually see them, interact with them, and understand that there are other opportunities besides, you know, all these hit or miss situations. You know, they're no longer fathers in the home to direct their children on the ways on ways to behave. Sure, is there a political agenda that is, you know, associated with this? Perhaps, I don't know. So that's why I think that's the problem. It's not some kind of a police trying to do this, police trying to do that. Perhaps there is. I don't know. I'm not going to simply just push it out there, you know, put it to the wayside and simply say, you know what, it doesn't exist. No. Because at the end of the day, you already know police need to meet their quotas. Maybe they need maybe 10 arrests every single month. I don't know. They might go to the black people, right, for that. They might look for any excuse in the world. Even just walking while black, they might just use that as an excuse to arrest you. Perhaps. But if you weren't doing anything, well, they will let you go. But at least they've met their quota for arrest, right? Sure. You know, they won't have anything to hold you on. But nowadays, many of the times when I'm around a lot of some black children, they're always trying to find a way to get themselves into trouble. And no matter how many amount of talking you're trying to do, they look at you and simply say, you know what, I'm not related to you. You're not my father. You're not my uncle. Who are you to tell me what to do? Then what's the point of trying to raise another person's own child? None. Anyway, she spoke about, you know, trying to unite to solve a problem. I think we have a problem. And we as a black individual, as black people, need to find ways to solve this problem. Even as black males, we have to find a way to solve this problem. That's what I think she's trying to say. Let's unite to solve the problem. Now, sure, in the way she said it, she is basically giving victim status to the black men that have been arrested and are being treated in this manner. Sure, she's giving them victim status. Maybe as a woman, many of the times all they do is just maybe sit back down and cry and hopefully wait for somebody to come and help them, or seek what do you call it again, handouts. But most men know that there's no safety net for you, right? That's how men think. There is no safety net for me, so I better go out there and go get it. But you see, one of the biggest problems and the biggest lies that this society, just give me a second, Chalex, welcome to the stream, man. Sorry I didn't see your message a little bit earlier, but welcome to the stream. So, where was I again? Victim status, right? So, one of the things that almost everybody has taught me in my life is this: if you cannot acknowledge a problem, then you are not going to solve that problem. In order for you to acknowledge the problem, you must consider yourself a victim. Now, I know a couple of people are going to listen to this and simply say, you know what, you got to stop right there. But I'm going to just make sure that you guys have an understanding of what a victim is. A victim is someone or something that has been harmed by an unpleasant event. I'll repeat that again. A victim is something or someone harmed by an unpleasant event. Let's put it this way. If your weakness is preventing you from achieving things, right? Normally, it's an unpleasant event that gives you that direction as to where your weakness is. It's always an unpleasant event that tells you, yo, you are weak in this section. You need to button up. At that particular point that you realized it, you became a victim of your own circumstance. Now, are you as a man going to sit down there and simply say, I'm going to wait for handouts? No, you're not going to do that. No. You're going to say, you know what? I need to get the work in to make sure that I, get things together. That's how a man is. So a man, first of all, has to acknowledge that he's a victim in order to push forward. You see, a lot of people are running around traumatized, but they don't know they're traumatized. Until you have acknowledged that you are traumatized and you need help in order to push forward, you will never get over that simple thing. So, first of all, a man must recognize he's been a victim of his situation, a victim of his ignorance, a victim of his lack of ability. He has to recognize that first, acknowledge it, and then seek solutions to push himself out of that situation. So anybody who's simply saying, oh, she's victim blaming, I don't know why that victim blaming has become such a bad word nowadays when everybody's trying to cancel everybody. Recognize you're a victim first of your situation and then push forward. You can't sit down there lying down. No, you gotta stand up, pull your own self, pull your own self up, either by the help of others or by your own self. Now, many of the times you're not going to sit down, you're not going to keep lying down on the street while asking people to help you up. No, you're going to start struggling to get up, and other people see you trying to get up. And guess what? People are going to come over to you and say, yo, do you need a hand? Say, yes, sir. Or yes, ma'am, I need a hand. And pull you up. When has accepting help become a problem? It's terrible, man. It's really terrible. So for me personally, I don't see anything wrong with what Alyssa Milano was saying, except with the last part where I think she was wrong in that section. But I felt like she was wrong in that section because she brought up voting basically. And I think she got caught up in it because she was saying, oh, it's a centuries problem, and I think voting entered at the back of her mind, and then she just put out our word voting. But I don't think that she was wrong in what she was saying overall. Now, sure, because she's she's a Democrat or something like that. So most people immediately attribute, oh, because she's talking, that means she's with the left. No, I think she's saying something that has some common sense to it. Let's unite to solve a problem. And there's a problem, really. We have problems. The family, we no longer have that. We don't have the community. Okay? The prison complex, which is also trying to keep black men in there for cheap labor and so on and so forth. Yeah, we got problems, people. What happens when you have nobody in the prisons? What happens then? What does the prison become? It has to be torn down and rebuilt for something else. People can't make money out of it anymore. Let's be real with ourselves, people. It's all about business, man. These people don't care about anything. It's not personal. It's business. I used to say to a lot of people, listen, if I was back in the age when there was slavery and I was a businessman, even though I'm black, I'll still have slaves. Let's be real. It's just business, not personal. It's business. You know? So, right now, you also have to acknowledge that, hey, these guys are making money off of black people, black men going to prison. They're making money off of it. You know? And it's up to us as black individuals to raise our children right. Charity begins at home, people. To raise our children right so that they are prepared to deal with what's on the outside out there. Now, the black lady also spoke some facts in this situation. She spoke some facts. And that fact was this, that black people are more likely to be killed by people who look like them than the white police. And she's right about that. Why? Like I said again, we have lost the family structure. We have lost our communities. So now there's no respect. All these black boys running around with no respect. They don't know how to fight. They don't know how to swim. And the truth of the matter is that many of them don't know how to keep a job. So now you have a lazy man's mind out there, and you know what they say, a lazy man's mind is a devil's workshop. Anything can happen. Anyway, Alyssa Milano, it's unfortunate that you became a victim of this so-called social whatever, with Twitter and so on and so forth. But, people always find ways to put words into your mouth. They'll always find ways. And that black lady who was critiquing her on what she said, found ways to put words in her mouth. She's saying that she's trying to cause a division. What division was she trying to cause? When she's simply saying, put yourself in someone else's shoes and understand their own position and try to help them solve a centuries-old problem. How is she causing division? I'd like somebody to help me out with that. How is somebody like that causing division? She also said, the black lady also said, she's saying that a black man, because of the color of his skin, doesn't know ways on how to vote. She said, a black man can't figure out how to vote because of the color of his skin. Alyssa Milano never said that. She never said that. She simply said there are powers at be preventing people from voting, preventing black men from voting. She never said that. That's what I just said right now. She said there's powers that be preventing black people from voting. That was back in the past, though. I think she was, like I said, she was in her chain of thought. She felt it was smooth because she was talking about centuries old problem, and she just put that one out there. This black lady also said that Alyssa Milano is saying that black men are not as smart as the poorest white person. Alyssa Milano never said that. You see, this is the problem that I have when people are talking to other people. You see, when you speak to someone else, okay, I'm gonna put it like this for you. When you're saying anything to someone, right, and you want them to understand where you're coming from, after you've said whatever you've said, ask them, can you repeat exactly what I'm trying to tell you? I think that would be the best way to understand that other person has comprehended the information, understood it, and now can say it back to you. I think that's the best way. Because this lady never mentioned that in that clip. For the black lady to infer to that, I mean, nothing. A lot of people will go out there and they'll say that this lady was trying to say that Alyssa Milano was trying to say that black men are weak. She never said that. Although she was inferring that black men are victims, but being a victim doesn't mean you're weak. Like I said, a victim is someone or something that was harmed by an unpleasant event. It doesn't mean you're weak. It just means that an unpleasant event made you to recognize that you're deficient in an area, or that you're not able to achieve something. Something caused you to see certain, that caused you pain, that caused a flaw, for you to see a flaw, that is currently making you not to be able to achieve something or to go past a certain time in your life. You understand what I'm saying? Or you feel like as if you're stuck. something is making you weak. An unpleasant event has just made you feel weak. Out of your element. That is what a victim is. It doesn't mean you're weak. You cannot sit down there and identify with weakness. No, you're not weak. You don't identify with weakness. Yeah, sure, you're a strong person who just felt like a victim right now. Okay, fine. I acknowledge that I've become a victim. I acknowledge that maybe certain knowledge in certain areas have made me feel flawed. Or maybe somebody did something nasty to me that's making me not to like, other people. Sure. But should I sit down there and tattoo weakness on my head and simply say, oh, that's me now? No. It doesn't make you weak. But let's be frank about it. Black men in this society do not have voices. Most men do not have voices. They barely speak. I've said this on numerous occasions. Men don't have a voice in our society. Most men, when they see other men suffering, they say, well, sucks to be him. But until that problem now comes to their own doorstep, many of the times they will not even recognize that they have a problem. That's one thing I hate about men. They don't know how to come together to simply say, okay, we have a problem on our hands, let's try and solve it because it's affecting us as men. No. It's only when it's affecting women and children, that's when we as men come together. But we as men need to come together for male issues. We need to start creating safe places for males to act, to get rid of many of the problems that they're dealing with. To speak and say, you know what, I don't feel great today. To feel it's okay to sometimes be vulnerable amongst other men so that you can basically push beyond where you are. I'm not saying to go out there and just say, oh, you know what, I'm weak, I don't want to do this. No. It's about acknowledging that you have a weakness and to speak to others about that weakness and for others to help you get there quickly. Think about it like a job, okay? You have a great idea. You have the greatest idea about a job, something that you can create. Okay, but the problem is the limiting factor is money. Now you go to several people and you talk to them about it, but nobody seems to understand your vision. Now you have to work for 24 years or 30 years just to get the capital to actually execute your vision. And then it comes too late for it actually to go off the ground. When the truth of the matter is that if you had dealt with people who actually understood your vision, are willing to come together with you to get your vision up and running, well, guess what? You'll be a billionaire by now. But before that 30 years has reached, you would have been a billionaire. That is the problem. When men don't acknowledge their weaknesses, deal with it, and push forward. That is what happened. That weakness continues to be a chain that continues to pull you as you're trying to climb top. You need to get rid of the chain so that you can climb a little bit more freer. But no. Men don't want to open their own mouth and acknowledge that they don't have a voice in the society, let alone black men. Black men don't have voices. And in as much as it hurts me, the truth of the matter is, many of the times, it's women that are actually opening their own mouth to voice out for men. Women are doing the job that men should have been doing. To open up and speak about male issues, to deal with male issues. Men don't have a voice. And we need that voice. But anyway, I'm just rambling on. Anyway, my dear Alyssa Milano, it's quite unfortunate, but yeah, it's the culture we live in nowadays. Everybody wants to find any reason to make a white person who is trying to say something, try to make them into a monster or they're trying to say something that is irrelevant according to many of them. It is not. It just isn't the way it should be. So, anyway, that's it for me. I'm not going to say much. I'm not going to continue on about the topic, but I wish that this thing shouldn't have been blown out of proportion the way it was. She was barely saying anything from the clip that I saw. She's only simply saying unite and try and deal with one problem, and the media or YouTube or wherever it is just took that message, added in some milk, cheese and pepper, and created a whole new storm out of it. You know, cancel culture exists, man. Black, white, Latino. The funny thing about it is that right now it looks like everybody's trying to get on the black people's agenda. But the truth of the matter is, many of the black individuals don't want to help themselves. They really don't. I understand where she's coming from, and I know it because she's a Democrat. There's a possibility that most of her messages might be leaning towards staying in victimhood. I don't know, but I can tell you that from this little clip that I saw, I didn't see that. I only heard one thing: let's unite. Put yourself in someone else's shoes, understand their plight, and then help in dissolving problems associated with what is going on with them. So, I think I said enough. So, this is going to be me signing out till the next topic. I don't know when it's going to be, but if there's anything that is in the media that propels me to speak on that issue, then I will speak. Until then, a good night, and to the person, Shalex, thanks for reaching out. I appreciate you coming out. All right, that's gonna be me. It's a wrap. Thank you.